Yeah, this is the way we're starting. I'm just like cursing up a storm. Didn't even say good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's like an instant irritation for me when I open Instagram and start the live and it's like pause due to poor connection. Like, no, no, thank you. But now I know how to fix it, which is just to turn my Wi Fi off on my phone for some reason. So I don't know. Um, that's what we're doing. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this place. Hi, Ricky. Hello from Myrtle Beach. That sounds nice. Good morning, Anna. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Shay. Good morning, Suzette. Hi, Christine. Good morning, Denise. Oh, hello, Erin. Hi, Claudia. Hi, Cassie. Hi, Beth. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, Sarah. Mm. Okay, so how are you guys? How's life? How was your how was your weekend? Janelle. Well, I already had my coffee and I've been drinking this green stuff every morning. But my coffee was very good. It was extra hot. And I put that dirty rose chai powder in it from like that Enema Mundi. Has like rose and different spices, and I just put a little bit in there and I mixed it all up. It was so good. Hi, Brittany. Hi, Valerie. 67. Happy birthday, Ricky. Happy belated. Enjoy your trip. I mean, I'm sure you are. It was 75 degrees at the beach. It's not bad in here today. I thought people told me we were gonna have snow today, and we don't. That's why you don't look at the weather because it's very sometimey. Happy to say really good, zero anxiety. I love that for you, Suzette. God's favorite has joined us. Always good. I'm shuffling the cards. All right. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Maura. So listen, I saw a great band in Harrisburg on Friday night. It's a band called Joseph. And they have a song that I had just randomly found on my Spotify called Side Effects. And I was being obsessed with that. And then I saw that they were playing it in Harrisburg. And I was like, oh my God. So I bought that ticket for myself, actually, which I'm want to do. I was just going to go myself, but I ended up going with two friendos and we had the best time. And Joseph, it's twins and a sister, so three sisters. Um, they had a guest called Sister, and they brought Sister back on stage during their set, and they sang the most like whew, rendition of "What Was I Made For" from the Barbie movie, and literally everybody in the audience just was like, and I just thought of that because Mara popped up on TikTok, and I met Mara when Megan and I went and saw the Barbie movie over the summer, and it was a good time. So anyway, Joseph was amazing. If you've never heard of them, I see a lot of you have heard of them. Joseph is so great. Um, Definitely check them out because such a great band, such cool people. It was so fun. It made me so happy. I must be a billionaire in a submarine because you made my heart implode. Oh, oh. I mean, I respect that. That was a good one. I like that. It's creative, a little dark. Nice. Nice, Spencer. All right. We're off to a good start. Okay. Let's take a sip of my green drink. Okay. So, if you're new to Coffee and Magic, welcome. I will be pulling 3 cards from the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle deck this morning. I'm going to give you 3 things. You choose which of the 3 things feels most aligned for you this morning, and that will correspond with the cards that you get. Okay, let's see. What are we doing this morning? You know what? I'm feeling kind of springy, even though I shouldn't. Um, So we're going to go with flowers this morning. And let's do rose, daffodil, and bluebells. So roses, daffodils, or bluebells. Which flower are you feeling this morning? Drop it in the comments. I'm doing my shuffles. Roses, daffodils, or bluebells. Roses, daffodils, or bluebells are your choices this morning. I'm shuffling right now for rose. Oh, there it is. We had 1 card in particular that was very anxious to join us this morning. Hey, Amanda. Oh, that's a mix. That's a mix. Sorry. Tell me when you're ready for the roses. Okay, we'll see. Lady of the Lake, the Wasp, and the Stag. What a lineup this morning for you, huh? Lady of the Lake, Wasp, and Stag. Okay. 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 So again, you have roses, daffodils, or bluebells this morning, and this is going to be your rose. Lady of the Lake, the Wasp, and Stag. And no, I'm not. I'm not loitering. I'm just gathering my thoughts. All right. So as you know by now, maybe Lady of the Lake is going to be all about your boundaries, right? Lady of the Lake is standing here, literally rising up out of the waters with a sword, her hair flowing in the wind, and she's really commanding that space, isn't she? I'm going to answer that. Yes, she is really commanding that space. And Lady of the Lake and the Stag together are literally commanding the spaces. Okay? Commanding the spaces. So you've already been in this in like you've already heard this message that you need to protect your boundaries, walk into the room with that like stag energy, just like open that chest area, that heart space, and like just be present with your own power, right? But what has happened? Somebody or something, but it's usually somebody, might be someone you're related to, is really trying to like confuse you, to put it lightly. It's not even confusion. It's just like destabilization of self. Because whenever you're new in a behavior, you're wobbly, right? It's kind of like the fool card. You're trying something new. Well, not trying, but you're being something new. So your muscle memory isn't there yet. Your muscle memory is actually still trained for the previous iteration of self, right? So with that being the case, be easy on yourself about this wasp situation, but we need to see it, right? So if you had been feeling for a moment like, I got this, I'm in my power, like, okay, and then an interaction or more than one interaction with somebody has um, thrown you off of that and made you doubt yourself, it isn't because you should doubt yourself. It's never that way. Because let's think about it with some logic instead of like anxiety and fear brain, right? Imagine seeing somebody stepping into their power and having confidence in themselves. Imagine seeing them and thinking to yourself, I need to tell them about all the possible downfalls of believing in themselves. That would be helpful to them, and I would do that from a space of love. Does that break your brain a little? Like, would you do that to somebody? Like, would that be the reflex if you wanted to help them and show them that you support their growth and their self-confidence and sovereignty? Like, would that be the way? Because I'm gonna just say no, it isn't. I'm just gonna jump to it. It isn't. It feels kind of insane when you say it that way, right? But that's what the wasp is doing to you right now, basically telling you that out of love for you, I need to point out all the ways that you could fail and make you doubt this path. That is not loving, it is not kind, and it's not friendly. So, if that is what a person is doing to you, and then also telling you that they're saying it or being this way because there's somebody that loves you and that you should trust, that is a major red flag. That's a problem, right? And if their energy is still getting in your skin, we need to look at that for a moment because maybe the boundaries need to be redrawn so that you can have a little more time of not having that energy assaulting your new form. You know what I mean? There will come a time when you're so solid in this confidence that it won't matter, right? Like this wasp can buzz around all you want, you will have no reaction to it. But while you're still sensitive to it, maybe it's time to redraw your boundaries so that you can heal to the point where the wasp isn't so waspy anymore and you can kind of see it for what it is, an absurd comedy that is actually a little bit sad, right? So that is your rose message for this morning. Today is roses, daffodils, or bluebells. Good morning, Caress. Oh. Excuse me. Hi, Beth. The energy's honestly been very, what's the word? I want to say tribulational, but I don't think that's a word, and I don't know if that's what I mean. But it's been very testy lately. Like it's been testing us, right? Like I know um, that I've been a little bit all over the place lately, feelings and just everything. And I can tell that, like, I've never experienced destabilization the way that I have with the way this energy has been because I don't actually feel emotionally attacked right now or under like emotional strain or pressure or like I feel like I'm okay. But then I'll have these like periods of time in this energy where I just doubt everything about myself. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of observing that now, that I don't feel it in my body as much, so I can observe it. And it's fascinating, but it's old stuff, right? And I think it gives us the opportunity to lean into the new stuff as opposed to lean back into the old way of feeling, um, and see what that's like, right? It's been a time. It's really been a time. A real fun time. I've also never felt the energy so viscerally in my body getting stuck. Like it's been wild. If I hadn't had that body work done on Thursday, I probably would still be kind of fucked up right now. Like it was literally like like bricks of energy stuck right here, and it needed out. Needed out. Oh God, yeah, the stomach issues have been insane. Stomach issues, migraines, full on just being crazy. And also stuff like with my uterus because I don't know if you remember. Do you keep track of my cycles on here? Just checking. But I'm always a full moon bleed, and in December I got my period on the 21st, so on solstice, and that was off. And then I got it again like 2.5 weeks later. So I'm totally off my game, and that's really weird for me too. And when I did get my period last time, it lasted a solid week, like crazy. It was just, it wasn't ideal, put it that way, but it was interesting. Like I could definitely feel that my body is like purging a lot of stuff, you know. So maybe track those dates. Anyhow, we're still in the middle of the cards. I'm just shuffling and chatting. This is going to be daffodil. The last one is bluebell. The first one was rose. If you missed that, it's okay. You can watch the replay on Instagram or YouTube. Ooh. Let's see. Okay. Tell me when you're ready for daffodil. Daffodil? You know what else? Nothing like food is so difficult right now. Like I don't like anything that any restaurants make for me. Um, and I don't know, nothing is delicious right now. Also, side note, do you guys watch that girl on TikTok, the lady on TikTok that like um does a POV of Karen like in the drive-through or at a restaurant to the waitress? Do you watch her? I forget what her name is right now. But she just starts it by she's chewing and then she's like, I knew it. Do you know that one? Because there was no real reason for me to bring that up besides that I think that's so funny. And now, like every time I take a bite of anything, I'm just like, I knew it. If you haven't seen it, you need to look it up. Just look up on TikTok. I knew it, and it'll pop up. I knew it. Um, okay. So anyway, this is daffodil. I knew it. I'm gonna start saying that. Okay, you've got the swan, the spider, and the owl. So we've got three organic living beings for your daffodil pull: swan, spider, owl. What a magical combination of friends. So, again, it's like we got a heavy dose of magic with a little bit of what the fuck, right? So, the swan is all about you coming into your own as far as allowing and accepting that you are all of the things that you are, right? Like you don't have to give up one part of yourself for the other part of yourself, like learning how to merge and then explore and expand into your more magical side, right? Like the side of you that has, here's the thing that I want to say about this. I think, at least from my perspective, we're moving into a space where it's really important to move away from the idea of being better than anything and kind of pull out of that hierarchy of groups, right? I posted in my stories this morning something from Daniel Four, who I'm just mildly obsessed with right now, and he talked about this idea of groups and like you put yourself in a group and you think that group is better than other groups, and it creates this hierarchy that then allows for this division, right? And we do this in the spiritual community very much the same as any other community, right? And we don't like, let's stop it. So, how do you stop that? Well, it's accepting that your birthright is magic too, not this is a side quest that only some are privy to or able to get into. We are all very magical beings. Magic is within us and it is part of how we operate. You can call it magic, but you can also call it so many other things. It doesn't matter. Do you see what I mean? Like, who cares what you call it? It's the life force energy you're working with and you're able to use it. And it's energy. And if you can kind of get yourself into a space where you accept that you are part of that energy and you can wield that energy and you can create with that energy, you're really tapping into the most powerful form of magic that you have available to you because it isn't restricted by, a very man-centric, is it that the word I want? No, like patriarchal, let's put it that way. It's not subjected to a patriarchal structure. When we subject our magic to patriarchal structures, and we do because we're not used to not doing that, we really temper down the magic because it can't explore in such a non-organic form, right? So, am I making sense? But I hope I am. I'll try. But anyway, so that's kind of where you're at, right? Where it's like, wait, I am actually just this person. I'm just this person who is so magical. I just am. And the more that you lean into that, the easier it is to find your creative flow, which again is not proprietary. Like creative flow is a birthright as well. Everybody has creative flow, not just people who can make things with their hands that we think are pretty. Your creativity is expressed through every possible way. And when that flow is on, it feels very good, right? It's kind of like a massage for your soul because you feel like you are in that flow as opposed to being hit by the flow, right? So the more that you lean into the fact that you are inherently a magical being, the easier it is to tap into the flow and or conversely, to tap into the ebb, which must be with the flow, right? Because sometimes we get the ebb and it's like, oh, I'll never be creative again. Like, remember last week, and I was like, oh, I thought that I would never, be able to be here again and do this, and I was going to cancel my whole business, right? Woo. So, all right, so you got that, but then you have the owl, and here is it's not the wasp, but it's like it's kind of a vibe of the wasp a little bit, just kind of here to just like be a little bit of a party pooper on like this whole thing because again, we have older energies around us that are trying to make us feel sadder, heavier, more afraid because it's still more fashionable to be that way, right? Like we're just on that edge of like really believing and then part of us is like no, that's so unrealistic, you know? It's kind of like all those people on TikTok right now. I'm like, I hope you're on TikTok because, like, what am I talking about half the time? It's on TikTok. Anyway, there's people there that are like, don't pay your taxes. Taxes aren't real. It's not even like a law to pay your taxes. And then you have people like, okay, but like, that sounds so fun. But if I don't pay them, then like the government's going to garnish my wages. Or like, I work for the government. If I don't pay my taxes, they're going to fire me. Like, stuff like that. Right. And you kind of see this just going on and on and on. And it's like, if we all collectively decided not to pay our taxes, what they're gonna do, right? But if only like 20,000 people don't pay their, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just kind of we're in that weird space of like everyone's afraid to go all in, but we all recognize that like this is really messed up and we don't want to do it, but also like we need to pay mortgages and like make sure our kids have food and shit and like we just don't know, right? So the owl is not really external, probably lives inside of you, you know what I mean? Just kind of being like, you sure? Are we sure? And that's okay not to have the answer. It could be a different answer every day. But make sure that the end of whatever sentence you're telling yourself ends with, but I am magic. Okay. So you can be like, I am nervous about this. I'm stressed about that. I feel bad about this, yada, 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 comma, but I am magic. So whatever you're doing right now, just comma, but I am magic. And then, you know, proceed. Okay. That is your daffodil. Last one's going to be bluebells. You accept it, Claudia? I accept it too. I'm going to try to remember that one because that sounded like a good tip. Like say whatever you're gonna say, but like end it with, but I am magic. I've been saying some weird shit lately inside my head. You should have heard me this morning. It's crazy. It sounded insane. That's all right. I do keep myself entertained. All right. Daffodils. No, not daffodils. Bluebells. We already did daffodils. Whoa. I guess those are the ones. Okay. Woo! Tell me when you're ready. Don't forget, comma, but I am magic. Okay. So here's this wasp again. I knew it. I should have said that. Oh, I'm so sad I forgot. Um, Here, this is the wasp. Cat, death. Not not really that different from our rose message, is it? A little bit different, obviously. But maybe a little same. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't tapped in yet. Okay. So this is your last one. It's bluebells. You've got the wasp, death, and the cat. So obviously, 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 here's the thing. It's so obvious, and like you might be asking yourself, like, what's my deal? What's my deal with this? And here's the deal. And I was talking to a friend about this yesterday because I have a feeling for many people this situation has to deal with a family member. Our families are so interesting, right? Because if you have been spending, the past few years really looking at your relationships and saying like this serves me, this doesn't serve me, this is aligned, this is not aligned, I'm not going to accept being treated XYZ and yada 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 yada, and you've been doing that work, right? It feels so good. That's amazing. You're doing a great job and you're probably attracting in friends that are like amazing, like I am, and you're just like amazing, like amazing. We're just woof, we're killing it. Way to go us, high fives, right? But then family, right? Where it's this special like thing that is somehow in its own little section and must not be touched because it's like no rules apply there that we've learned apparently because this these are people that are allowed to be hurtful and rude and unkind and ratchet as fuck in your face, and you're still supposed to love and respect them because they're your family, right? So if that isn't enough to break your brain, right? Just by itself, you've been doing all this work on like removing toxic people from your life, and like all signs point to your family probably, right? Where you're like, oh my God, you guys are just awful. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And that's rough. I hear that for you. So, oh my God, sorry. I'm back. Ah, my Instagram got kind of messed up. Hold on. That's super annoying. All right. Instagram friends, tell me when I'm normal again. Am I back? Somebody literally tried to FaceTime me right now. Like, how rude is that? Okay. Um, so anyway, so all that to say, right? Wow, we've been doing all this work and then we're not supposed to do that work with our families, but you are, and I think some of us do, right? Like you create boundaries with your family and all the things, but then you're like, but you still probably have a function within your family that is not feeling quite right for you, even if you've put up boundaries, even if you've had healing conversations, whatever it is you've done, you may actually be a person in your family whose role does not work for you anymore. And maybe that's the issue here. It was Claudia. Maybe that's the issue here. It's like she knew. um, and so, what to do about that? Um, oh, I'm just kidding. I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm sorry. I'm like cracking myself up this morning. Here you go. I fixed it for you. Mhm. Were you expecting something a little more mystical? Something more mystical than murder? Anyway, okay. So, um, don't don't do a murder, okay? We don't encourage murder or violence on Coffee and Magic. You are a sovereign and autonomous being. Okay. Anyhow, let me get back to this. That was funny. It took me on a ride. And now I have like Murder on the Dance Floor back in my head. And it had taken like a week break, but now it is back. Okay. So, anyhow, your boundaries. Let's look at those, right? But also more than that, it's this role that you have that may be the issue here because while you've set boundaries, you've enforced them, you've moved them, you've done this, you've done that. um, what really needs to die here is you. It's not your family, it's you. And when I say you, what I mean is the you that believes that that is your role in your family. Okay, now it used to be. So we accept that. But that needs to end its cycle. That's the death card. So ending the cycle of you being that person in your family, which for a lot of you is an enabler, right? You can give it fancier names like emotional support person or the glue or whatever you want to say, referee. But what you really are is an enabler. You're enabling poor behavior in your family. And you are allowing yourself to be responsible for whether people are good, not good, pricey, whatever. And they're just like spinning little tops, and somehow you're in charge of that. That's enabling. So maybe give it the words it deserves instead of giving it words that make you feel better about yourself for being a little bit toxic, right? So that is the cycle that's asking to die. And, um, you know, there you go. Those are your bluebells. It's delightful spring flowers for y'all this morning. No problem. With a little bit of mud. Okay, cool. So that's your coffee magic. Um, I'm about to send out an email this morning. I promise. I'm literally about to send out an email this morning. It's not a joke. I'm not just saying that. So if you're not on my email list, you can get on there by going to my website, sarahmala.com, and just scroll down. You can pop your email in there. I'm sending it out at 10. This email will have some words for you about this energy. And it will also have some words for you if you are interested in joining the next round of the Normalized Magic Workshop. I'm going to give you an opportunity to drop in shadow so you can kind of see what it's like in the group and see if that's a fit for you before you commit. So you'll have an opportunity to join us for that. And if you would like to do one-on-one stuff, there's going to be information for that too. So what I'm saying to you is I'm actually doing like a business email and I'm going to send it out at 10. That is my commitment to me and to you. And then that's it for emails for a second and for business stuff. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. I love you. Have an amazing Monday. If you missed any of this, you can, as soon as I sign off, it'll be available on Instagram and YouTube. How can you help me besides signing up for the shit that I do? Send these things to your friends and like interact with me on social media by liking, sharing, and saving on whatever platforms, because that helps me get boosted in like the hardly existent algorithm anymore so that more people can come on, and that I appreciate it. Makes me feel happy. Okay? I love you. See you on Friday at 10. Bye, babes. Bye-bye. Toodaloo. Oh.